Welcome to Optometry Divas, where we empower, connect, and promote each other's success. One of the ways we do that is through the Diva of the Week feature. And today I have with me my good friend Nona, that we're going to get to know a little bit more as she tells us about her amazing story. And I'm curious to know how she speaks all those languages. I'm sure you are too. So please help me welcome Nona to the Diva of the Week. Hi, Nona. How are you today?
Hi, good. Thank you. So good to connect.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you
So,
for having me.
in your feature, you tell us a little bit about yourself. So, could you just tell me a little bit about you? Just your background so we know you a little bit.
Sure, certainly. My name is Nona Kalfayan, and I was born and raised in Armenia, from where I had both my Armenian backgrounds and Russian backgrounds. So that for that reason, I speak those two languages. Then, as I was 12, 13 years old, my parents moved to Canada, Montreal, and that's where I picked up my French. So I speak French as
Oui,
well. Oui.
très bien.
And yeah, so I did most of my schooling in Montreal. I grew up in Montreal, which is a city that's very close to my heart.
In your feature, you said that your father was a physician, is a physician as well. So,
Yeah.
what type of physician is your dad?
So my father, unfortunately, he passed. He's no longer with us,
Oh,
but he
so
was,
sorry.
yeah, he was an ENT, ear, nose, and throat
Oh,
specialist, and he used to do plastic surgeries of the face. So after,
wow.
accidents and everything. So he practiced back in home, back in Armenia. He went to medical school in Russia, actually, in Moscow.
Wow.
Graduated from med school, then practiced in Armenia. Then, as we moved to Canada, he practiced a little bit between the countries. But then, yeah. So growing up, I always, I knew since I was little, I was like, I'm gonna be a doctor because I was just so proud of him. I would just hold his hand like he would go to after surgeries, he would go in even on weekends, Saturdays, Sundays, he would go to
Oh,
his office to follow up on the patients. Let's say if he had surgery done, and I would be like so proud. Even though I was this little girl, I would walk with him to the hospital and like kind of be scared because all these people, especially after like facial surgery, with all the things on their faces, the coverings and everything, with blue eyes, like because like after surgery, let's say in nose surgery, they would have a lot of like bruises.
bruises,
So,
yeah.
for a little girl like 5, 6, 7 years old, that kind of looked scary. And
Yeah.
I was scared, and I would hold his hand, but I would just still go sit there. And I was so proud of him growing up. And I always knew I'm going to be a doctor.
That's a beautiful story.
Yes, and one of his best friends was an ophthalmologist, actually, and he used to always come, and they used to always hang out and talk about patient cases, and I always listened. And since little girl, I knew like eyes were really cool. And then
Mhm.
when I moved to, yeah, when, growing up in Montreal after high school, actually last year of my high school, I started working in an optometry office. I never knew what optometry was. I knew about ophthalmology. So
Mhm.
I started working in an optometry office, and she was a young, OD, just graduated. We're talking back in Montreal. And I
Mhm.
was like, oh my God, this is so cool. So I would follow her, and I was like, oh my God, eyes are amazing. So all of those memories kind of came back. And
Yeah.
that's when she told me, she's like, why don't you look into it? This is optometry. So I started like really researching it. And I was like, this is what I want to do. It's a great profession. And at that time, I got married very young, and I was like, you know what, I can still do this. I'd be married and I have a kid and I'll go to school,
Yeah.
and it's not like hospital hours. I don't, so that's what brought me into optometry
Did you ever practice at all in
in
did,
Montreal.
uh-huh.
No,
Did
no,
you ever
I
go
just
back?
did my undergraduates there. Yeah, I got married very young. And I, right after high school, I got married, I had my son, and then I did some of my undergrad studies. And then afterwards, I just, as soon as I was done with my undergrad studies, I moved to South Florida. And I was ready to apply, but I guess some of the credits, they wouldn't work the same way because, you know, with Canadian system, education system. And so they told me I still needed some of the classes to complete my bachelor's. So I just continued here because some of the crediting system was different. So I started here at Florida Atlantic University. I completed my bachelor's and then applied to Nova. So yeah, and that's it. So I've been here since. My plan was originally to finish up optometry school and go back to Montreal because my family was there.
Yeah.
But then once I was done, it was very hard to give up the beautiful sunny Florida and go back to the cold. Yeah, so I practiced a little bit. I did some fill-in work. I was working, I did some geriatric medicine actually at that time. I used to do a lot of like nursing home visits, assisted living visits. I used to work for a big geriatric practice. I still continue doing some of the nursing home and retirement home visits 1 or 2 days out of the week. It's so funny. I had like a Zoom meeting today, and they were asking me what brought me into it and what keeps me going. I said, you know what, it's very rewarding. Just like working, I love like the two extremes. I love working with kids and I love working with older, you know, geriatric population, because I feel like those are the ones, the two vulnerable ones, you know. I feel like you really get it's just, you know, the connection is different. They're really appreciative a lot of times. So I just really enjoyed it. I felt like, you know, general population can always just hop in the car and go for an eye exam and, you know, do everything. But like with the children and with geriatric, it's just different. You really feel the fulfillments. You feel like, you know, they appreciate you can help them. And that's what brings us into our profession, where I enjoy what I do. So that's it. Yeah, that's my
very exciting. In your feature, you say that you talk to your patients about nutrition a lot.
Yes, that's one of the things that's very close to my heart, especially working with geriatric population. I used to always emphasize the importance of, you know, because a lot of times when you're bringing up different medical conditions, you know, such as like, you know, we're seeing beginnings of cataracts or macular changes, or let's say some of the patients that are diabetic. So I feel like it's very, very important to emphasize how important it is to take care of their health. I myself, you know, got really into like following up proper nutrition, and it just, you know, overall you feel so much better when, you know, you're following, you know, better nutrition and everything that goes into your body. I feel like it's something you need to consider. So I do talk a lot to most of my patients about proper nutrition, proper supplements, the different things, that it's something that you can take precaution before things happen. So unfortunately, it's a big pandemic, you know, the diabetes. It's one of the diseases that's affecting so many people, and it's very close to my heart. It's very hard to see those people coming in that, you know, it's already too far into the disease. So I always take my time to sit down and talk to them. Are you taking any supplements? What's your daily dietary, you know, things that you follow? Do you make sure that, you know, you eat properly? And a lot of times it's surprising how these people are not really informed about it.
Well, Nona, thank you so much for joining us today. I learned so much about you. I learned a lot about nutrition just from our conversation. And I'm looking forward to this new product that you're going to be bringing to the market, teaching us how to teach our patients about the proper value, the value of proper nutrition. And I hope you guys enjoyed it too. If you liked the video, please like it and share it. And until the next time, remember our motto: to continue to empower, connect, and promote each other's success. Thank you so much, Nona.
Thank you for having me. It was great pleasure having this conversation, and thank you again.